What is going on YouTube? Joon here, and I'm back again with another Idle Heroes video. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Panda Man XiaHou and the block meta. Is this going to be a thing? I'm not even sure. We're just here theory crafting a little bit, testing at 5-star because we did scroll for him. We got the one copy. Let's check out what the block hero could possibly bring to our meta.
Got that Joon, got the Joon, got that Joon, got the Joon.
All right, let's hope we can trigger the block a little more consistently here. So that's one stack. If we can block a bunch of attacks from the Sierra active here in round 4, doesn't die. Hopefully she doesn't die. Actually, okay. So there's a double stack here on Mr. Panda, and it's a double stack. Oh, yo, look at Ormus. Ormus has a triple stack, so it's triple armor, triple attack. So when you are fighting enemies that have AoE, this is what I was like super excited to test, to see multiple blocks happening and you triggering multiple instances. Now he's always going to get a double buff, right? So we see 4 stacks of attack there and 4 stacks of armor, but you see that there's double stacked on a lot of these other people. Some of them are expiring now, right? Why aren't they uniform stacks though? Why does Glenn only have 1 stack and Zeki have 1 stack? Yes, confirm that it stacks multiple times. So, you know, you have to make sure that that happens. And that's really exciting because once you get them to E5, V4, that can be very good. If you're facing, like, this is kind of crazy. Having multiple stacks of armor and attack stacked on, and this guy is just getting jacked up. He's getting double stacks. So it is very nice to see that it is stacking several times. So the more blocking your team can do and the more AoE your enemy uses on you, the higher chance you have to actually buff your team, which is very exciting because that does allow you to start running these block heavy comps. For those that aren't aware, if you block a crit, you will reduce that damage by 50%. So we just got crit there. It reduces crits by 50%, which is huge. Typically you're reducing by 30%, so like a regular basic attack is just going to do 30% damage. But if you're ever to block a crit, block has a really good counter measure to crit based heroes. So if we start shifting towards this block heavy meta, because he's an enabler for block heroes and a lot more block gets used, it's pretty good because we're seeing heroes like Vesa that have the shield bubble that allows you to reduce incoming crit damage. We now have the Lion that also reduces crit damage taken. We have Shelter that's being run on a lot of heroes to synergize with that. So it'll be interesting to see how the PvP meta will shake out. And there are obviously stages in PvE where it's very crit based, in Tower of Dreams. So you're facing a lot of Pennies, Sword Flashes, Asmodels, the OG Asmodel, as well as the Dauntless. So a lot of these anti-crit builds will probably find a place in the meta somewhere. All right, well, let's go through the skill descriptions. We got Irresistible Momentum. That's going to give him an active, reduce the armor of the enemy. In that case, it was random, I think, every time it hits. So it could either be the Iggy or the Sierra. Armor reduction by 40% for 3 rounds. And then you're dealing 100%, 130, 160. Of course, these multipliers will get bigger as you make the Panda Man stronger. Ferocious Raid, just a bunch of stats. You get HP, attack, block, which is important, and control immunity at 10%. And then he's going to launch a basic attack. There is no multiplier listed here, so I have no idea what his multiplier is. But it is reducing precision by 8%. For those that aren't familiar, precision works very good if you are trying to block often with your team. As you lower the enemy's precision, it gives them it gives your team a higher chance to block. And the reason why that is because, for instance, if you had 8% block, that means you're going to be blocking roughly 8% of the time. And if your enemy had 8 precision, it actually counteracts the block. The way precision works is it's a mechanic in the game that counteracts whatever block the enemy has based on the amount of precision you have. So in other words, by reducing the enemy's precision, your team will be able to block more effectively. So in this case, as a 5-star, you're reducing enemy precision by 8%, which means you'll probably have an 8% or higher chance, not 8% of course, but a higher chance to block, assuming that they have a little bit of precision, obviously, to take away. If they have 0 precision to begin with, I mean, you're blocking good already anyway, so it shouldn't matter too much. But it is nice that his basic kind of sets up his last passive, and I think this is his strongest skill, which is Impeccable Strike. When allies block 6 times in total, XiaHou and increases all allies attack by 6% and armor by 6% for 3 rounds, while the bonuses of attack and armor get doubled on himself. So he's gonna get double the stats as we saw there. Why is it that some heroes are showcasing 1 stack of the buff and some are showcasing 2? Oh, okay. This is gonna reduce our chance to block though. Okay, I forgot that deer actually affects attack, which is probably what we were seeing there. The deer buff is actually messing with it. So now we should see uniform stacks if and when we block. That might take a while. Oh, there's like multiple buffs now from the holy damage and whatnot. All right, there, 2 1 1 1 1 1. Yeah, there we go, there we go, there we go. And if we can block 6 more times before all this nonsense, then we will be able to stack 1 more. There we go. So we're able to stack 2 buffs. There's only about 1 round. I don't even know, it might expire before you actually get to utilize it. But so the idea here is to have a team that has a lot of block to see if, again, it would make a difference to get all those stats thrown on to your team. You'd have to use this obviously with E5s and Void 4s with meta heroes. The interesting thing that I was thinking about when seeing this hero's ability and skill set is that Transcendent heroes have their Void imprints. So it gives them the opportunity to adjust, to synergize more with this block heavy kind of meta if it is going to happen. So you'd be taking something like this and you're able to provide 70% block. But you are giving up some really important substats. Control immunity, damage reduction, those type of things are really important. So it might not be viable in that sense, but I was thinking that maybe there is some type of synergy there where you can utilize the Void imprints on the Transcendent heroes and use heroes that are actually focused or highly focused on block. Like this is a great example, right? She has 70% block. With a non-block artifact, you are going to see 127. So I mean, you can get up to like close to 200 if you put an A and B on her. So there are heroes that have naturally high block. So it'd be interesting to see their synergy between block heroes, because priests have a lot of block through their tech, and that's why I was using a bunch of priests there to showcase the block mechanic. But the 33% block, that's coming directly from, or not 33, I think it's 29. I do believe that I have some percentage in a... Yes. So the star spawn has been upgraded to 4%. So I'm going to have 4% than the average player on their heroes. But it's interesting to see that you might actually be able to use the star spawn as well. A lot of these star spawns are finding a lot of these corner case uses. Some of the HP ones are really nice. But even the abyss one to reduce incoming crit damage, this guy here, the crit damage reduction, like that's going to eventually be really important too. Just to be able to reduce all the incoming damage, right? We're shifting towards a very... like tanky meta. There's a lot of cool tanky builds that we're getting, whether it be by blocking or by reducing crit, Vesa, healing, shields. There's a lot of ways to keep our teams alive, but interesting to see that the block thing does stack. It will be interesting to see if this block meta or synergies with heroes and other block stats will actually amount to something impressive in PvP and PvE, maybe a little bit in Realms Gate. There could be some opportunities. I'm excited to see whether his armor scaling and attack will allow your team to be a little bit tankier. Now he has no heal built in short of his own passive here with his basic, so he can stay alive longer. He does a decent amount of damage and stays alive longer because of the last passive, right, from Impeccable Strike. But I feel that allowing your team to survive longer by having a lot more armor might be something worthwhile. It does reward you for going kind of heavy into block builds or heroes that are highly dependent on block. It will make your team just that much stronger. And being able to stack, I mean, at where are we at? I gotta go to the best case scenarios here, right? You're at Void 3. I don't necessarily think you need to take him to Void 4. So at Void 3, to get Impeccable Strike to its final form, you're going to be giving 25% attack and 25% armor to your whole team. And Panda Man himself is going to get really tanky. He's going to get 50% an armor buff, right? And if you stack that a second time, that's kind of absurd. It's 100% increase in armor and 100% increase in attack. Maybe he might start slapping a little bit, but I think his main purpose might just be the enabler, like a block team enabler, and using other heroes that generate block. Now, there aren't that many heroes right now, like Horus And of course, LOBs come to mind. But if you can use A and B on some heroes, give them a little bit of block, maybe it'll give you some survivability for Realm's Gate. Because Realm's Gate is that content where you can start pushing into further Void Corruptions past 100, and maybe a little bit of tankiness combined with maybe some Fionas, obviously with Vesa. Any heroes like that it'll synergize very well because you have priests on your team already that have a high likelihood to block just because of their guild tech. And if you put an A and B on them, maybe there's a good synergy there. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this breakdown. Thank you so much for checking out the video. We will see you in the next one. Peace.